Hello, my name is Pastor Michael Salomon. I am the pastor of Harvest Christian Fellowship in Phoenix, Arizona. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the bill of SB 1060, which was passed in the House and in the Senate last week and is on the desk of Governor Jan Brewer. We believe and support this bill. We know there's a lot of opposition, specifically from the LGBT community. We believe such opposition is unwarranted and it is very discriminatory in itself, in the sense that it discriminates against the religious rights. People should have the right to choose. People of faith do not have the right to force people to make decisions to follow their beliefs, and so people of the religious stance should not feel forced to follow the beliefs of those who are contrary to them. Whether if they're Christian, they should not be forced to follow Islam, atheism, Buddhists, Hindus, etc., and vice versa. It protects everyone. This SB 1062 pretty much says that if I don't want to serve you as a business, not as an employee, but as a business, I should not have to. If I am a photographer and I am a Christian photographer and I do not want to take pictures of a gay wedding or a Muslim wedding or any type of wedding that is contrary to my belief, if I am so sincerely if I so sincerely feel this way, I should have the right to say no. But the problem is, these days, Christians who are refusing to marry homosexual people and make cakes or photography, specifically the homosexual agenda, they're finding themselves in court fighting to defend their right to say no. So our legislation came up with a law that says that if you have sincerely religious beliefs and it moves you to say no or compels you to say yes or no, you have the right to say no without consequence. And that's a right that should be protected. People say, well, that law is already there. There's a right for people to do that. That's not true. If there was, Christians would not be finding themselves in court fighting over why they said no. The LGBT claims this to be, and it's so funny that is the group that is coming out. They're claiming this to be discriminatory, bigotry, etc. It's not. It is not. It is protecting the rights. Christians and those of the religious sect should have the right to say no. They should have their rights protected. If a church says no, we're not going to accommodate certain weddings, they should have the right to say no. If the homosexual photographer or a baker does not want to host a Christian wedding, he should have or she should have the right to say no. People should have the right to say no without persecution. LGBT and other communities are making this like it's a issue of discrimination. Even people who are opposing it are threatening Arizona, saying, well, we're not going to do business over there. They're already discriminating against the people of Arizona. It is so funny how they're claiming that this is hate and they're claiming discrimination, while in fact the only people who are hating at this time, or the only people who are discriminating at this time, are those who are crying bloody murder. They're crying, oh my goodness, this is hate, this is discrimination. So because of its hate and discrimination, I'm going to hate and discriminate you. Even in the news, there was signs that said, we reserve the right to refuse service to Arizona legislatures. And they put that on the sign on their window. I mean, those who are crying bloody murder, are they themselves feeling, are the ones who are actually doing it, calling Christians hateful, churches are hateful, people who oppose or who support SB 1060, which is 1062, which is their right. They're calling them hate, while those in 1062 aren't even saying anything. They're silent. All they're doing is saying, look, this protects the rights of religious people. Now, whether or not SB 1062 is passed or not, I don't know. But I do know that there has to be a law that protects people to say no to certain issues that violate their religious practice. If an individual says no, they should not have a fear of being persecuted or sued in any way. And Arizonans should not feel like they're being held hostage. These days, there are LGBTs and communities and others that support this community are holding Arizona hostage by saying that unless they veto this, they're not going to do business. They're holding their money back, and they're going to do this, and they're not going to put millions of dollars into our economy. You know, this just seems like a very strong scare tactic, and it seems like it's a hostage situation. What's next? Are we going to be held hostage to force ourselves to for gay marriage or to go against our religious beliefs just in case or for the sake of our economy? What's the next hostage thing we're going to be held on? What is the next thing they're going to say? You better pass this bill or we're not doing business. Or you better not pass this bill or we're not doing business. I mean, that is ridiculous. I think we need to stand strong and understand that this bill has nothing on gays and homosexuals. There is not even any writing that says those words, and yet the news, like Channel 5, is indicating as a fact that this bill will give people a right to discriminate against gays and homosexuals. That right there, again, is out of context. It is an assumption, etc. I am a born again Christian. I am a pastor, a bishop of the Lathian Christian Church. I had owned a restaurant, a hamburger restaurant. My beliefs call me to against homosexuality. I do not accept it. I do not believe it is of God. And yet I have never ever denied anyone a service, a hamburger, food, or any type of service from my company or from my business. So this so-called assumption that suddenly businesses are going to be anti-gay and not serve homosexuals or serve Muslims or serve Christians is, again, a scare tactic that Arizonans and the governor should not be afraid of, and this is not going to happen. So, and if a person decides to say, no, I'm not doing this business with this particular person, well, you know, there's a lot of businesses out there that will take your money. Just go to them. They will do business with you. A business who refuses any type of service from anyone will find themselves on the wrong end. That's not what they're there for. But a photographer, a church, any type of service industry that is exposed to things like that should have the right, and even clubs should have the right to say no. These are things that protect religious rights, and I believe this law needs to pass. If it doesn't, we need a law that comes out that protects the religious believers and those who are on that side. And that also goes on the other end. If an atheist doesn't want to do a Christian wedding, if he's a photographer and he doesn't want to do a Christian wedding, he should have the right, or she should have the right, to say no without Christians suing them. But you don't hear Christians suing atheists for not taking pictures. It's always the other way around, where people of the other nationality, other religion, are suing Christians for saying no because they believe in what they believe in. That's my take, and that is the truth. My name is Pastor Michael Salmon from Harvest Christian Fellowship on SB 1062.